Well, I grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey, and in a small mission church called the Gospel Herald of the Mennonite Brethren in Christ, who were centered in Allentown area, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area, Pennsylvania. And in that little mission church, I heard the gospel. And I remember when I was 4 years old, my Sunday school teacher telling us that we had to be born again. And I got so excited. I didn't know how I got here the first time. And so to be told I had to get here the second time was beyond my comprehension. And I got so excited I fell over in the back of my chair and got reprimanded for disturbing the class. So anyway, that's kind of the roots. But when I was 10 years old, hearing the gospel in a sermon, I realized that really I did not believe my name was in the Lamb's Book of Life. And so in the invitation, I went forward and accepted all I knew was Jesus, be merciful to me, a sinner. And that was transformative. And after that, I was baptized in the Hudson River. Today, that would be lethal. I would never be raised again with Christ, but back then I was. And I always felt a call to ministry in some fashion. And so I ended up going to Dallas Seminary. And when I was looking through the catalog of majors, one of them was Old Testament. And I thought, I don't understand the Old Testament. I remember reading as a kid through the Bible, it would say, Israel blessed, Israel cursed, church is blessed. And I couldn't figure out how you could get there. So I decided that I would major in Old Testament. So I majored in Hebrew, and I loved Greek. I'd done my really, I almost majored in Greek in college and loved it. Well, anyway, then what happened was that so the church had been calling me and Elaine, pastor them in Louisiana, and God had blessed us there. But in a senior interview, the president of Dallas interviews the seniors and tells them what he thinks they should be doing, what their gifts are. And he said to me, Bruce, your gift is in education. Your classmates have come in and said, tell Bruce to be a professor, a teacher. And he says, so my advice is to you to stay on and do your doctor's work. But I already did my master's in Hebrew, so I stayed on and did my first doctorate in Greek and New Testament. And graduated in 1958 with that degree. And the following morning after the graduation, my parents were there for the graduation. We had a time of prayer, what I would be doing now. And the phone rang, and it was Dr. Walford inviting me to join the faculty for 1 year because my professor had left to go to Brandeis. And so I was teaching advanced Greek grammar and first year Hebrew. And God blessed the teaching, and I loved it. So the seminary gave me a 2-year leave of absence, and I could go anywhere I wanted to get a PhD now in Old Testament. And I opted to go to Harvard, and it worked out well. So ever since then, the die was cast. You know, every time you go through a door, you close others. And so you become more and more focused in life. And so I've got focused into Old Testament. That's how the providence of God worked. So
I wish there was someone that was still in that position today when I was an undergraduate or my master's degree to say, this is what I think you should do. If I would have had that, would have saved me a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I also learned when I entered Dallas It's non-denominational, so you don't have any denomination that gives you a frame of reference upon graduation. You're on your own. And so I don't like that. I don't like living by faith, and I like security. So I said, I know what I'll do. I'll join the army. And then I come out, everything's set. I got security, everything's fixed. Well, I made application and I was accepted. I got a letter on a Wednesday morning that I would appear at Hensby Field to be sworn in at a certain time. And then I'd go to Governor's Island and learn to be a chaplain. Well, the Thursday night before I was to get this telegram, I just sweat bullets. And I said, Lord, I really believe I'm doing this out of unbelief. I'm so conflicted. I've rationalized my situation. The chaplaincy is a wonderful ministry, but down in my heart, I think I'm not believing. I'm not trusting you. Get me out of this mess. The next morning, I got, instead of a telegram, I got a letter, and it said, we've lost all your papers. Start over again. And so it's been kind of stuff like that I've seen God's hand in my life in an unusual way. That's been just God's grace to me.